For 5 months in a row, luxury homes in Calgary, $1 million or over, we have seen an increase in sales year over year. Is that still going to be the case this month as we go into September 2025? Well, we're going to dive into all the numbers for homes over $1 million here in Calgary. And if you want all the data, all the good information about Calgary, Airdrie, all the different areas around the city, jump into the description. I've put together a market report for you that you can download and you can dig into right away. So over the past 5 or 6 months, the Calgary market for luxury homes, $1 million and over, has been a little bit more robust than what I thought it would have been. We are still seeing a lot of homes that are selling fairly quickly with good months of inventory. And I don't know if that has completely changed as we go into the fall season. And it kind of held decently strong over the summer. So what has happened? Well, the number of sales that have happened in Calgary was 160 sales that happened last month. There's 640 active properties and 50 are currently pending as the time of me shooting this. In Canmore, we've seen 85 actives, 13 sales, and 4 pending. Chestermere, we only saw 3 sales and 39 actives. And over in the rural areas, we've seen 9 sales in Foothills, 24 sales in Rocky View, and then 72 and 128 active properties for the rural areas around Calgary. And you see a few other ones like Okotoks has 7 actives and 7 sales. That's interesting. Heritage Point has 8 actives and 3 sales. Right now, last month, there was 13 actives in Airdrie, 6 actives in Bray Creek, and 0 sales for each of those. So it's kind of an interesting market right now where definitely Calgary has a lot of homes over $1 million. So what is happening with the days on market? Well, the current days on market for the city of Calgary, we are sitting at 4.3 months of inventory for the last 30 days and about 3.4 months of inventory for the last 90 days. And so if you see this number, the 30-day number, if it stays higher, it can drag the 90-day number with it, or it can go the opposite way, right? So if Calgary's market, the 30-day number stays higher than the 90-day, we could see the market slowing down, meaning moving into a balanced and a buyer's market, so on, right? And that has happened over the last month, because last month we saw the 30-day number be 3.8, which is lower than this 4.3. And the 90-day number was 2.9, which is lower than the 3.4. So we have seen this market moving up the scale. So now some of the other areas like Chestermere, last month we saw 5.6 months for their 30 days and 6.9 for their 90 days. Well, their 30-day number has skyrocketed to 13 months of inventory for the last 30 days, and it's jumped up to 7.8 for the 90 days. So again, you can see the market is slowing down in some of these areas. Now in Heritage Point, it's kind of showing a little bit different, because right now we're sitting at 2.7 for 30 days and 2 months of inventory. That's it for the 90-day number. And the old one, last month, we were showing 4 months of inventory for 30 and 2.6 for 90 days. So Heritage Point's market, the little area, Artesio Heritage Point, it's actually getting quicker. So there's a lot more activity happening than what we've seen in the past. And the rural markets, they are sitting at Foothills. So the 90-day number for Foothills last month was 3.5, and this month we're sitting at 4.6. Last month was 3.3 for Rocky View, and we're sitting at 3.8 for Rocky View for this month as of the 90-day months of inventory. Now, when you look at the median sale prices, this is just a snapshot in time for last month. It's not necessarily anything much more than that, because I think Calgary's was sitting at like 1.29 last month, and now we're sitting at 1.2. And again, this is just the median number from the month. Grabbing a quick snapshot. Canmore's is 1.45. Cochrane Lake was 1.54. And you have basically 1.6 and 1.25 for Rocky View and Foothills County. Now, if you want to look at dollar per square foot, just to get an understanding of what things are selling at, Canmore is jumped up. I think it was about 800 something last month, but it's sitting at $986 per square foot. And Calgary has been pretty steady actually in the $500 per square foot. That includes land, that includes house, that includes everything. where Chestermere is $378. That is if you really want to get into larger homes that are over $1 million, so bigger price or lower price for bigger square footage. That's where you want to look, is Chestermere. $481 in Cochrane, $741 in Cochrane Lake, and that's jumped up because I think there was a big sale in there last month. Heritage Point, like we just talked about, is about $437 per square foot. Okotoks is sitting at $468, and then the rural areas are right around, let's call it $725, $698 and $772 per square foot. Now again, this includes your acreages, so if you've got, anyways, big acres versus small acres, it's all is kind of in there, but it's just a one way to understand a little bit of what's happening and everything. So if you want to look at all the stats in one place, all the numbers, there it is. Pause the video. But Calgary. So I told you at the beginning of the video that for the last 5 months, we have seen sales increase year over year for luxury homes over $1 million. And this is the first month that we've actually seen it decrease since February, to be honest. So if you go back all the way to, actually, it might even be further than this. I might have been lying. I think it's longer than this. Anyways, so what are you lying about, Jared, on camera? Well, I'm going to show you. So you can see here, back in February even, 126 sales. Back here, it was 141. Okay, I wasn't lying. I was kidding. Since February, so March, that was the first time we started seeing increases year over year. We did see them in January. We saw it here, we saw it here, we saw it here, we saw it here. So really this February was a lower one where we did see other year over year increases, over $1 million. But since March, we've seen 219 versus 202. Basically, it's been anywhere from like 2 to 3% increases in sales, where this last month, I'm going to get rid of all of this. This last month, we ended up seeing 160 sales in Calgary. And when you go backwards, we saw 164 last year at this time. So it's pretty much the same, but it's about a 2% or so drop, like 4 sales less in August this year compared to last year. But again, you can still see this trend line is still obviously moving up and to the right. So still, we have more sales than we've seen in the past. And part of that is because prices have increased, but prices aren't increasing anymore. So that's gonna change how the stats look. So this is also really great to understand too, is the 90-day months of inventory based on the product type. So I don't really focus on the apartments or the townhomes because they are very, very up and down, a lot less product types. But when it comes to semi-detached properties, we're sitting at 4.7 months of inventory. Semi-detached property types, over $1 million, it's kind of a unique thing. And there are some unique products that are coming to the market where we are seeing more and more sellers who have had properties, let's say $3-4 million, and they want to not necessarily downsize, but they want to get into more of a lock and leave it type situation. So there's been more product types coming onto the market that have actually allowed those individuals to still have a 3,000 square foot, more like a stacked townhome. And they're able to purchase something like this, and they're still spending 3-4 million, but they can leave their property versus having an acreage or versus having a large home, right? So there's some interesting products that are coming to the market in Calgary that we haven't seen before, really because of the demand for luxury homes here. And again, it's that price point, because if you wanted to find what was a, I don't know, $1.5-2 million property in Calgary, you could be spending $4, $5, $6 million in other cities in Calgary or in Canada. So there's still this demand that is happening because people see the value of Calgary and what it offers. Now, detached homes, it's sitting at 3.2 months of inventory across the whole city. So, and it's stayed fairly steady. It did jump from last month, which is 2.7, 2.8, 2.8, 3.2 in April. But again, it's really in that balanced market across the whole city. Now, if we look at what has happened for homes, so this is your 2.5 line. and this is your 4 line. So anything in here is your balanced market. And so the 90-day number has actually, since February, has actually passed over into a buyer's market, where the 30-day number is actually lower down here. And so you can kind of see how this market is just always really flirting and changing. And truth be told, the fact that it's even under 5 months of inventory, it's still, there's a lot of properties moving quickly. There's just not a lot of properties overall to choose from. So if you're moving up, if you're moving from a 900 to 1.1, you want to go to a 1.5, there's just not a lot of products to choose from. Well, here's your example. So as soon as you get into the 1.6 to 1.7, there's only 23 active properties in the whole city that is inside the 1.6 to 1.7 price range. If you're looking at to try to stay under 1.5, you only have 44 active properties. So you can see how this is kind of a harder market in some ways. But as soon as you get into the lower priced products in terms of 1.4 or less down to $1 million, there's definitely a lot more products to be looked at. But again, if you look at the months of inventory, it was all these blue lines. It's not until you get up into here at 2.2 or over 2 million. So 2 million to 2.1 is sitting at 5.4%. And then you got 12% up here. But really anything under 2 million is still sitting in a balanced market in the city. And then it's much more sporadic as you get up higher in the price points. So if you found this video helpful and you are looking at making a change and you're in the luxury market, $1 million or over, please let us know. We'd love to help and have a consultation, build a strategy for you, because we've done this before. We've helped hundreds of families move in the luxury market over the number of years. And so reach out to us, let us know, but grab that market report in the description, and we'll see you up in this video here because I know you're gonna like it.